Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today is still Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. As always, I'm grateful. And I hope everyone is doing well. And by me hoping everyone is doing well, and because I want everybody to be doing well, I want everyone to take care of themselves physically, but not just physically, even more emotionally, mentally. So I'm coming to you now with a message of concern for myself and all of you. Whether you like me or hate me, just listen. This is a message of concern from me to you. What are you concerned about, Big Ward? I'm glad you asked. And you know I'm going to tell you. As I prepare for my son's birthday Thursday, he'll be 13, April 25th. I was sitting here going over some things that I have to get for him for his birthday party and things that he wants. And I was scrolling through some channels as I was, thinking about what I'm going to do. And I ran across something that really stood out to me. And I was like, wow, I need to talk about this. Considering the time we're living in, considering what we're all, well, I say most of all, not all, everybody, rich or poor, black, white, short, tall, fat, skinny, gay, straight, it don't matter. Right now, for some reason or another, I think everybody is mentally exhausted, mentally empty. It don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter if you ain't worried about your bills. This world we living in give us way more to worry about than just bills. You may not believe this if you homeless right now, or if you just lost your job, just lost your car, and it's like your world coming to an end. You don't have no money in the bank, don't know when you're gonna be able to get out of this homelessness, don't know when you're gonna be able to get another car, don't know when your situation gonna turn around. And you may be thinking you're going through the worst of everybody. And there may be somebody right now living in a mansion with a 5-car garage with Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces in them. Money is the last thing they got to worry about. Money ain't the issue. But they just found out because of the air we breathe, or because of the food we eat, because of the environment we living in. They just found out, in spite of all the millions they got, 5-car garage, Lamborghini and Rolls Royces in the garage, and you homeless, just lost your job, and you're unemployed, and this and that, and you think you got the worst of it. And somebody in a way better situation than you, they stressed out worse than you because they just found out they got stage 4. What's that cancer that's no cure, or kill you real quick? My cousin died from it. I think I got 2 cousins died from it. Pancreatic cancer. Same thing killed Steve Jobs. Billionaire, the founder of Apple. You ain't worried about no bills. See, you thinking life is only stressful for people like us. When I tell you right now, we live in the world, and this is the reason I'm making this video, I want everybody who's listening to the sound of my voice to take care of yourself. Yes, physically, but overall, mentally. I want everybody to keep a close eye on your mental. While you're at the gym, I understand you getting, like me, I'm in the gym, I'm getting these guns swollen, I'm getting this weight knocked off me, doing all that right. But that ain't gonna matter. A beautiful body ain't gonna matter. It just snaps. How much money you got in the bank, how much money you don't have. If you homeless, if you living in a mansion, if you catching a bus or walking or riding a bike, or you got 4 Lamborghinis and 2 Rolls Royces, it don't matter if you lose this. If it explodes. Because of all the pressure and the stress that you're going through. Right now, in this world and time we live in, everybody going through some stressful, painful ish. Rich, poor, gay, straight, short, tall, black, white, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. Don't matter. Don't matter. So with that being said, this is a message of concern. Check this out.
Well, troubling new data from the U.S. government today shows more than 49,000 people have committed suicide in the United States this year. This is the highest number ever. Rachel Ramsey spoke with the National Alliance on Mental Health Michigan. She's here for you now and the reasons behind the numbers.
Yes, Sherry. Kevin Fisher with NAMI Michigan says during COVID, we actually saw a decrease in suicide rates, seeing less than 46,000 in 2020, but now they are rising. He says as the world opened back up, anxiety and depression increased. Fisher reminds people that prevention is key when it comes to suicide. First signs that someone may be struggling are isolation, engaging in riskier behavior, and extreme mood swings. If you're seeing these early warning signs, Fisher says you need to act and ask that person if they are thinking of committing suicide.
Suicide is one of the most preventable causes of death that we know. The problem is the stigma associated with mental illness and having the conversation about suicide, and then people being aware of what resources are available to them and how to access those resources.
For family members who have to continue living without their loved one, Fisher says it's important to not blame yourself. And if you are having suicidal thoughts, dial 988 for the National Suicide Prevention Line. Back to you.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you were wondering why I say this is a message of concern for you and for me. Because of the difficult times. It goes back before 2020, but since 2020, that word they just mentioned, on up until now, it's been a whole nother level of hard. A whole nother level of stress. And I dare to say, the majority of us are not handling it well. I believe, this is just my belief, the majority of people are not happy right now. Just not happy. Don't see any reason to be here. I know most people ain't gonna admit it. Like I will. I'll admit it. I have days where I don't want to be here. I'll admit it. I have days I want to check out and give up and say I quit. I'm done. I give up. I quit. I ain't doing it no more. I have days like that. I'm willing to admit it. But there's millions and more of y'all. Might not be watching me, but there's a lot of y'all watching me right now have them same thoughts, same feelings, just like I do. But you just won't say nothing. And to you, I say this message is for you. Don't let them thoughts keep riding you and you don't tell nobody. Don't do that. Talk to somebody. Because I know, because I was just far from doing it myself in the 90s. I told y'all that story. Them voices in your head telling you it ended, it ain't worth it no more. You might as well give up. Ain't nothing here for you. Don't nobody love you. The world don't love you. You ain't got nobody. You ain't gonna never have nothing. You ain't gonna never be nobody. You never gonna end it now. You wasting time. What you still hanging around for? Life ain't worth living. Them thoughts come in your head. Especially during times like this. Especially when you got some bad news from the doctor. Especially when you just lost your job and don't know how you're going to take care of your family and your kids. Especially you living on the street. You don't even have ID. No identification. You ain't got to drive like you living on the street. You ain't got ID. So especially during times like that, those voices start singing, sound like Marvin Gaye in your head. Who's another great singer? Sound like Teddy Pendergrass, or Grass, how do you want to pronounce it? Luther Vandross, the Big Luther. I like the Big Luther. Them voices in your head go to singing to you, sounding like the Big Luther, telling you you're a failure. Look here, you ain't gonna make it. Life ain't, get on out of here. It's better on the other side. If you leave here and check out, you ain't gotta worry about this no more. No more pain, no more suffering. That's what them voices singing. Like Luther. Sound good to you. I know, because I used to hear them too. I still hear them. I ain't gonna say used to, still hear them. Just don't sound like Luther right now. Because I know better. I know who it is. So the voices that's telling me to do it, it sounds like who it's coming from. It sounds like a dragon. Don't sound like Luther to me. But to you, it might sound like Luther. But when I almost did it, it sounded like Luther. Back in the 90s, when I was this far from doing it, until Winnie walked up on me and interrupted me right before I got the last few drags on my thing, and I was going to go in there, and at least I thought I was. But God intervened. And I sit before you now, able to tell you from experience. In times like this, I know what you're hearing. You ain't got to tell nobody. I know. Been there, done that. I know what you're hearing up here because I heard it too. And it sounds like the right thing to do. Just end it. And I'm telling you, that's not. Who's to say if you end it here? We don't know what happened on the other side. Who to say it's better if you end it, if you give up, if you quit? We don't know. I doubt it. I really doubt it's going to be better if you go out like, if you check out like that, I really doubt you're going to a better place. I really believe you better off staying here and just suffer through what you got to suffer through. Go through what you got to go through and try to make it on through it to a better day. I believe that's your best option. I believe that's my best option. Even today when the thoughts come to me saying, big boy, you need to go and give up, quit, man. Check out. End it. It ain't worth it. I still believe, no matter how hard it get on this side of the ground, I don't want to find out what's on the other side and find out that it's worse over there. As a matter of fact, I know if you go out like that, ain't no way you going somewhere better. So if where you going is going to be worse than what you're dealing with, you might as well deal with what you're dealing with and just do the best you can with it. If sometimes you need to take a break, you get tired, you get weary, you're tired of running, you're tired of fighting, you're tired of racing, take a break. Take a rest, as that old saying go. If you get tired and weary, take a rest, but don't you quit. Check this out.
Good Sunday morning. The U.S. Surgeon General calls it the defining public health crisis of our time, mental health. 1 in 5 adults experience mental illness every year. Depression rates are at an all-time high. A third of adults report being diagnosed with depression sometime during their lifetimes, a figure that is rising. Nearly 50,000 Americans died by suicide last year, more than any year on record. The president says we are falling short.
In 2020, less than half of all adults with mental illness diagnosis received care for it. Less than half. For children, the number's even worse. Nearly 70% of our kids who seek care for mental health or addiction cannot get it. For all those brave enough and strong enough to seek help, and I mean that, brave enough and strong enough to seek help, we have to do better.
In 2021, more than 12 million American adults thought about suicide. 1.7 million attempted it. The youth mental health crisis is overwhelming emergency rooms. Nearly 60% of high school girls reported persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness. And for our nation's veterans, the crisis line is fielding a record number of cries for help. This morning, in a special broadcast on the nation's mental health crisis, we will have a conversation about all of it. How do we talk about mental health? How do we access treatment and care? And maybe most importantly, how do we pay for it?
Thanks for watching.
So as the numbers show, she said 12 million people thought about ending it. And I guarantee you it's way more than that. And a few million tried to end it. I guarantee you way more than that. So to anybody within the sound of my voice right now, you feel like quitting. You feel like giving up. I want to say this to you. When times get hard, hang in there. Don't you quit. When the road you're traveling is bumpy and rough, you keep going. Don't you quit. Don't you give up. When it seems like nobody understands you, and they probably don't. When it seems like you ain't got nobody to love you, and you probably don't. Don't you quit. You keep going. You'll eventually love yourself enough for you and everybody else. When the road gets rough, don't you quit. When times get tough, don't you quit. You keep going. Ain't no quitting you. What exactly is quitting? What does quitting consist of? If I say I quit right now, if Big Ward say he gives up, what does that mean? What am I supposed to do? When you say that, how do you actually go about doing that? You finna end it? You finna listen to them thoughts? But yet them thoughts can't guarantee you that if you end it, you're going to a better place? Think about that for 1 minute. I know what you're hearing in your head. This is me. This your boy. This Big Ward. I ain't lying to you. And you can't lie to me. I know what you're hearing in your head. The majority of y'all that's listening to me right now, I don't care how good you making it look to everybody else. I don't care. You can't fool me. I know what you're hearing in your head right now, because I know how hard life is right now. I know why y'all come on my page in the comment section complaining about my content, emailing me complaining. I know why you doing that, and you still show up. You still keep coming, even though you claim not to like what I'm talking about, because you know I know. You know I know you. That's why you're here. In spite of claiming you tired of what I'm talking about, you're still here. Ain't nobody on these YouTube streets get y'all like I do. I get you, because I am you. I ain't no big time so-and-so. And if I was a big time so-and-so, I wouldn't act like it. I still get you. So I know. You ain't got to tell nobody. Keep it to yourself. But Big Ward know. When you try to go to bed at night, Big Ward know what you're hearing up here. Big Ward know what you're thinking in times like this. Because I've been in times like this pretty much all my life. See, times like this is new for a lot of y'all. But for me, it's been my whole entire life. So I know what you're hearing. I know what the enemy telling you. And I'm here to tell you, don't you quit. Get it. Got it. Good. Bye.